Yo guys, thanks for watching the Sanja Ganja Show.
Tune into the Sanja Ganja Show. Stay high, America.
Till I fuck it up. She's on a mission.
This episode, we're chatting cannabis with dispensary owner Brian Hall in Oregon. This episode is brought to you by the THC Girls. Let's check in on state legalization due to COVID-19. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to my channel and watch each month for new episodes about cannabis culture. Let's get it. So COVID-19 has unfortunately rocked the nations and has completely shaken the business world while pretty much raising unemployment numbers. But fortunately, it has its match, cannabis. We've been deemed essential and it's helped the industry, both in being taken seriously and legitimately and as well as financially. Many states are actually considering legalizing simply to create income, which is pretty freaking cool. Wow, now you love us. I'm just kidding. Honestly, I'm not upset. Look, if we're going to have anything good come out of 2020 at all, out of all of this mess, let it be legalization and a revolution to the people. Look at the facts. The US cannabis market is worth approximately $56 billion just this year alone, with 90% of the sales going untaxed in the illegal market. Well, you can be sure with the coronavirus, legalization is speeding up, and we can expect more jobs, more income for the state, schools, streets, poverty, and the homeless. Well, that's if the state's governors do their job, of course. So, we'll see what happens.
Tune in to the Sanja Ganja Show.
Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you?
I am feeling so good. Thanks so much for having me today, Sanja. It's a pleasure to be here. It's so good to see your beautiful face and get to connect with you again.
I'm so happy to see you. I just love you. I love your shop. I love your dispensary. I love everything that you do.
Oh my God,
and
so sweet.
I can't wait to tell everybody on the show.
So excited to be here, and thanks for thinking of me and bringing me on. It's such a pleasure. And
Of course. How is Portland? How's Oregon?
Portland is awesome. I mean, I love being here. You know, the times are some interesting times for everybody. It's been a wild ride, and I know everyone's going through a lot right now, but I'm happy to be here and very grateful for the opportunity to serve the community and keep bringing the meds to the people and, you know, bringing the herb. It's a great honor to have this job and this shop and, you know, be supported by the local community and one of the most competitive places in the world for dispensaries and recreational cannabis. So the fact that I'm still here is such an honor.
For the viewers listening, you guys, Brian is the most dopest dispensary owner I've met. And I've met so many, worked with so many. Brian is
awesome.
One of the best.
Man, that's saying a lot because, yeah, there's a lot of talent here and people have had to work so hard to get where they are. And I'm not the only person working my ass off to get where I need to go. And, you know, but definitely my ethics are strong and I've never given up on myself or the shop or my people, and I definitely believe in the medicine and, you know, feel like I'm doing a good service for everybody by hanging in there and, you know, doing the good work.
And you've been doing that since before 2020 and before all the disasters, but, you know, since we are kind of speaking on it, you've been able to manage and stay alive during all of this, thank the heavens, you know, and all your hard work and your team.
Yeah, I definitely have a very good team, and my core backbone and the support that I've had to get through the times has been incredible and challenging for all of us. And there's been so many hurdles, and, you know, it's been monumental to get this far and to establish myself in this little brand, to be wonderful. You know, it's like, this is who I am. And it really is just such a great honor. Oh my God, you got the matchbooks. Sweet.
I got the match. I still got them. I got plenty. I give them to myself, my little brothers, all my friends. I still have like a whole box. I found them randomly.
Nice, that's radical. So yeah, I just ordered some more swag, so we're getting on that. But yeah, the times were tough over the winter. I didn't have a lot of marketing budget, and since you were gone, I missed you. I missed those passport events and all that stuff, man.
Oh man.
Good time.
One of the things that was huge for Portland was the industry nights that the THC girls and myself introduced. And you were a huge part of that. You were like the greatest part of that, actually.
You guys were the greatest part of that, but I definitely brought some fun tabling events and some creative ideas, and definitely got a lot of people involved with the Be Wonderful tabling events, and came hard with the swag and brought a lot of good vibes down there for sure. So
you did
anything without you guys, and man, you guys are such talented marketing directors, and for being young and entrepreneurial, I was just so impressed with how you put together those events and the turnout, and that like it was very professional. And I know those aren't easy because I'm from the music industry and I've done a lot of promotion. Right. I did a lot of stage work. I've done a lot of hosting for bands. I know what it takes to get groups of people to come together. I know what it takes, especially if it's asking for funding to get in the door, and I know what all that takes to like get a draw down here, and for how you handled that and what you did to bring all those people together. No one else in Oregon has done that, so I have to give you mad respect and props for like actually being capable of doing that and following through and caring enough to like put on events like that may not have been as like lucrative as you may have hoped as far as like making a bunch of money, but the fact that you brought people together, established those things, created those networks, and were able to have a marketing capability of doing that was really impressive to me. And I was so grateful to piggyback on your campaign, and you gave me such good deals for the tabling, and just always encouraged me, and like were so sweet, and just gave me hugs and made me feel very welcome to be there. And you're such a great people person. So those events,
it's because I love you.
Those were the best events that's happened in Oregon. I definitely miss them, but I think you did about 6 of the events on a monthly for the industry night, and they were hosted at the Vitalidad Community Center, and brought a lot of different people from different parts of the industry together. I learned a lot. I met a lot of people in the community that were actually the entrepreneurs, the vendors, the distributors, growers. I met so many people from doing that and from being there. And then the fact that I was able to put out my swag and, it was basically the first branding network that I had to even push my brand into the community, because there wasn't a lot of opportunity besides you guys in the Northwest Cannabis Club at that time.
Right.
We're allowing people to have consumption events and to be able to promote and do those types of things. And, it's complicated with the legalities for the consumption, and to be able to bring people together and to do that, and how all the regulations are, and to navigate through those regulations to do it compliantly, and to make sure that you're not stepping on people's toes or going out of bounds for the regulations, and respecting the laws here in Oregon. So I was impressed you were able to pull all that off. And yeah, I definitely will say that helped my brand in a big way to be able to be out there on a monthly. I looked forward to those events. I brought people to the events. I brought my staff to the events. It was something that I cared about, and definitely put extra energy, and was grateful for that opportunity that you gave me.
And that's the kind of, advice that everyone's looking for. What's the secret sauce? That's a little bit of our secret sauce, get involved with the community. But I do appreciate all those kind words, because it was really, really fun throwing those events, and I do miss them. But we will be back. So I want to kind of talk about you being a dispensary owner.
Yep.
You have so many talents, and you have a lot of flavor in your dispensary. I'm definitely stoked, because you have so many cool things that really tell about your personality and who you are, and you infiltrate that into your morale. So having your ups and downs, you've been resilient, and you work really hard. You treat your people really good. Would you say is your biggest triumph over all these years, actually dealing with the rules, the regulations, and all these issues, all the money, the finances? What's your biggest triumph that you have dealt with being a dispensary owner at this point?
Well, the fact that I'm still here selling bud and having this as my career path, and being a business owner in the most complicated industry in the world with the highest regulations and the strictest guidelines, for me, that is, my pride and joy, is that I've actually been able to survive when, hundreds or thousands of people have moved to this state from across the nation to try to do what I am doing, and had way more money, had way more capabilities, way more backing, way more support, way more partners, way more everything. And I am this one little dude that has created a microcosm for myself and for the community and for the people that work for me to create, I call it the utopic business model, which is, you know, it's like, as long as everyone's working hard and getting the job done, I want this to be fun and enjoyable for everybody to be here. I want to have my staff have ideal schedules for their personal lives so that they are happy to come into work and don't have to call out on a regular basis because I'm asking too much of them and it's not working. So I try to care about the people that work for me because I want to not have turnover and sustainability, so I'm trying to create a staff that will stick with me, but it's very complicated, especially in cannabis retail, to get people to stick, and it's high turnover, more than I would like to have happen. So I just try my best to be a good person, a kind employer, respect people where they need respect, and to give growth and promotions and increased raises, and like really try to invest in my team and my people rather than constant turnover of the minimum wage and burn and turn employees and squash people for the bottom line and always concerned about the margins. And, you know, it's like sometimes I just want to like hook people up because it's something that comes from my medical days and being a medical patient myself and caring about cannabis and the results that it has. And not everyone can afford to, you know, buy certain levels and quality levels. And I want people to experience that. And if it means me not making as much money as a business owner, but caring enough to create loyalty with my customers and to give someone the experience that they're looking for, that is what brings people back to Be Wonderful, is to really care. And that's the difference between me and my shop, is I actually give a shit about people, and that
Right.
like not just here for myself and to become some rich guy. And like, you know, that's the misconception for a lot of people, is that if you're a weed guy or a weed girl and that you're a dispensary owner, grower, whatever you are in this industry, that you've got like millions of dollars buried in your backyard and you're super rich. And like you know, that's kind of a conception that like I get a lot, is people think I'm some super huge baller. But at the end of the day, with quadruple taxation and all the permitting fees, the employees, everything else, no write-offs in retail for payroll taxes, no write-offs for many operational expenses that every other business in the nation is allowed to write off for taxation. I have to find creative ways of making money and to be able to pay the government what is owed at the end of the day. And that's challenging because the taxation with the FDIC and the lack of lending for cannabis businesses, there's no insurance for funding, there's no real loans, and the loans that you do find are really horrible. So it's like, to be able to pull this off and do what I've done, I've been thinking outside the box and had to work so hard and constantly of just jumping hurdles. And I'd say I'm like a very good creative problem solver, because if you don't find a way out of a corner, you're going to get squashed. You know what I mean? So that's basically, I've been backed up into a corner so many times, it's on a regular basis, and it's just become part of my job, is to put out fires. You know, I basically am like a fireman. I just go around from place to place with my hose, putting out fires and problem solving, troubleshooting, constantly figuring out how to juggle things around to make it work. And yeah, I guess that's what I've developed as a skill set, is to how to be on my toes every single day and expect the unexpected, and to roll with it and figure it out, and how to solve that immediately with my skill sets and my thinking. And I think that's how I have gotten this far, is that I think outside the box. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I have a degree in music, I have a degree in music technology, I have a background in computer science and programming. I have a diverse background and an extreme resume that goes beyond cannabis, and that I've always been a very hard worker and dedicated. Of, you know, moved back to New York to further my education, went back to school there for 2 years, lived in Manhattan, came back to Oregon right when it was going in transition from medical to rec, and I happened to be at the right spot at the right time doing my thing. And as it transitioned from med to rec, I worked my ass off to establish my little brand and to get in the portal. As that medical to recreational window closed, I kind of squeezed myself through the portal before a lot of people got cut off, and they stopped issuing licenses for production and different styles of cannabis businesses here in Oregon. There definitely has been a slowdown and a cutoff, and that's what I mean by the portal, is that if you didn't get in, you kind of got left behind. And I'd say I got a ticket to the game, but I'm in the nosebleeds right now. So I'm like working my way down so I can get closer to the field. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in.
For you to be able to survive with all these treacherous, you know, waves of laws, regulations, and, you know, it is a rat race out there. It's saturated. It's a big market. And like you were saying, all business owners that are in the cannabis world are not just some huge billionaires that, you know, have all this money to spend. You know, it's not all like that. You know, it's not all monopolized, especially in Oregon, you know. So, you know, for you to hurdle over these obstacles and still have the morals that you have, you know, you still live by your own code, which is treating people right. And if you have to sacrifice not being some huge billionaire so that you can have good prices, have dank weed, then that's what you're going to do. You know, damn straight, that's what I call a good business owner. And which is why I wanted to have you on the show, because I really think it's important to get the message out there and to understand that we do need to end this stigma by showcasing people like you. You are the exact reason, you know, all the stigma is ending. It's because of you. You know, you have gone the extra mile. 10, 15, 20 years ago, Be Wonderful Wellness would never have been possible, you know, and we never, when you were playing music and going to college, you never thought, oh, I'm going to own a dispensary, you know, and be a badass, you know, you never, and no one saw this coming. So cheers to you. I tip my hat to you. And I'm so excited to come back to Be Wonderful, because actually I do want to talk about your weed for a minute too. You have some of the greatest weed in Oregon, you know, literally. You are a businessman and you can grow pot as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stigma that's being squashed right now, and that we've navigated some of the most challenging parts of being outcasts of society and considered delinquents and stoners, and, you know, just the whole snowball of fuckery that the society has wrapped us up with and in for so many years. And I'm happy to start breaking down those walls and to show that people are professional and that care, and that, you know, get up early in the morning and work all day until the end of the day and do that day in and day out to survive and to get through the times and to be successful and to never give up on yourself, even in the times that you feel like giving up and throwing in the towel. And there have been many, you know, it's like that's not an option if you want to get where you want to go. You just have to fight through those feelings and know that we're human. You're going to be feeling funky some days. Some days are gonna get you down, and that, you know, you can't always be happy and bring in that positive vibe. But, you know, I try my best, and, you know, when I'm not feeling good, I try to get myself away so that I can get through whatever I'm feeling and bring back the good quality energy to the staff and for myself and for the clients and everything. So it's been super challenging to break those stigmas, but I feel like Be Wonderful's doing a good job, and that I'm building a really great crew right now. And that I'm so happy that those olden days of being the outcast of society are slowly going away, and that now with the COVID-19 outbreak and the government declaring us essential business, it's almost as if now I'm starting to feel more considered as a legitimate businessman. I'm considered respected in society, and that I'm hoping that eventually that the government will ease up on some of the regulations, or to, you know, give more fair taxation brackets and possibilities of federally insured lending to the cannabis industry in the future. And I'm hoping to see that in my lifetime and be a part of that movement, and, you know, keep carrying on where this industry is going to go. And I consider myself a pioneer of the industry. I know a lot about the plant, the science, from everything, all the products and extractions and edibles and everything that you can think of about this industry. I really could explain most things to anybody, whether they're the top scientists in the nation or the consumer that's coming into the dispensary for their first time. That, like, I could pretty much hold a conversation with anyone in between there, and, you know, successfully educate people on what these products are, what they do, and, you know, help people find what they're looking for, and to guide them for their needs based off of their tolerance levels, what they want, their goals are for consuming the products. And, you know, I don't consider myself a used car salesman down here. I'm not trying to push stuff on people that's been sitting on the shelf for a minute and I'm trying to get it out so I can make my money and get my next pound in or whatever. It's not like that for me. For me, it's, hey, what are you looking for? And I want to guide you to find what it is that you came in for today. And if we don't have it, I'll tell you that the shop up the street's got it so that you can go find what you're looking for, because I want you to come back to shop with me another time and not feel like I push something on you that you don't want. And then you're like upset when you get home, like you didn't really want that, or it didn't work well, or whatever. So that's kind of that extra mile thing that I'm going for. And marijuana or cannabis has been consumed for inspiration and for medication and for so many other recreation, whatever, people love this stuff. And for me, I'm a consumer. I don't smoke during the days when I'm working and that type of thing, but at night I always look forward to coming home and blazing. And it's my thing, come home, work hard. I don't think I've made it this far in this industry if I didn't consume. I would have already given up. You know what I mean?
Straight. Let's talk about the name Be Wonderful. Tell our viewers how you came up with the name Be Wonderful Wellness for your dispensary.
Sweet, I'd love to. So my stage name is DJ B1, BE-1 as in unity. So that's where that came up from, is my DJ career. I spin vinyl. I've got an extensive reggae, dub, techno, house, deep house, classic rock, jazz, gospel, you name it. I collect everything, and I just love music. So I was a stage performer. I worked on stage at the Roseland Theater for years. I worked for the city of Portland doing sound at all the parks and over the summers for years. I've done a lot of stage work. I've met a lot of very famous musicians. I've had an opportunity to perform a lot. I've done a lot of cool things with my music and the career, and it led me to a lot of great places. And I know a lot of people here in Portland and all over the place from choosing to be out in the community and do those types of things. So basically the B1 as in unity, that's where that comes from, is transferred to Be Wonderful, because it was just like rolled off the tongue, and I was probably ripped thinking about, something cool to name the shop, and it went from B1 to Be Wonderful, and just kind of rolled off of my tongue. And like, I'm just going to call this place Be Wonderful Wellness Center, and this is what it's all about, is that I want people to be wonderful. I want people to be well. I'm hoping to, spread the good vibes and the medication, and that's where the name came from. It's just thinking that this is a wonderful product, and I want people to feel wonderful, and that's the vibe. I say, I want people to live up to the name that work here. It's a Be Wonderful vibe, and if you're not feeling wonderful, if you're not feeling the love, if it's more about your ideal job and not about supporting the business, and it's about you and it's not about being wonderful, then you might not be in the right place for working here, So I basically ask people to name.
Being a general manager for the last decade in the industry, it's really hard for me not to go into a dispensary and test and, judge and rate everything that they do. It's kind of missing with like all these monopolized huge dispensaries that are more like Walmart now. Right. So you bring that nostalgia back, which I really, really enjoy. And speaking of your dispensary, what is the craziest thing that's like ever happened in your dispensary that you can think of?
The list goes on and on. It's just pretty much crazy nonstop all the time down here. Some person, maybe homeless or vagrant, living in the area, decided to take a shit on the door handle of our dispensary, and it happened twice.
Oh my gosh!
Number one, how do you even get your ass up on top of the handle? You know what I mean? So, that was crazy. Like, I don't even know how that physically happened, let alone how gross and disgusting that is. Like, what?
How that was like some gymnastics move that had to go down. This person was definitely on something. Oh my gosh. I love Portland. I love you, Portland. But I'll tell you right now, I have seen actually a lot of people shitting in public there. When I lived there for a year, I think I saw like 5 to 6 people taking a shit. And I also saw a lot of naked people.
There are a lot of naked people and a lot of people shitting all over the damn place together. There's a lot of people that aren't with it and that have not been successful in life for many different reasons. So I feel for them, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I don't have a problem with them other than the guy that took a shit on my door, but I'm like,
yes. Screw that guy.
With the COVID-19 and everything being such a real pandemic globally and all that, I can only, in the economy pretty much coming to a grinding halt, it's like that's why I feel for the homeless people and can only imagine how many more will be happening if problems are not resolved and economics are not stabilized. At this, we're very lucky to even have jobs, and that before we were declared essential, I mean, I was basically given a heads up to my staff, like, hey guys, if they close down this whole thing, I don't have extra funding to like keep you guys employed here. And I practically turned into tears thinking about that all my life's work was about to go down the toilet, and I would have been another one of the 40 million people that have gone either under or unemployed. And that there's so many beautiful restaurants and businesses, and all the entrepreneurs here in Portland and this area, people moved here to create these businesses and put their life work and their life savings into these ideas and opportunities. And now where are they going to get the money to survive, and how are they going to continue? And I've already seen so many places close down, and there's so much real estate that's for lease or for sale right now. And it's just that's what the eye-opening thing is. And I'm a realist, and that's why I guess I'm so grateful to even be here. So that's why I'm so grateful. But yeah, I think that overall with the COVID-19 and the global awareness, this is what needed to happen in order for our species to survive, is that we are getting into the peak of gluttony for our civilization, where everything was just becoming too easy for everybody, and that like people are like idolizing other people. And now with the sports and with the concerts and everything else going down, it like really makes you think about what's important. And society seems to always be looking to somebody else for inspiration, or for ideas, or for what is considered cool or whatever it is. And it's like now people actually have to find things to do inside their home, inside themselves, have to learn how to spend time with each other, how to like spend time when you're unemployed. What are you doing now? So it's just been this real like eye-opener for everybody, and the global awareness that's being created from this is what will push our civilization and our species into hopefully sustaining itself for, like, I believe the earth has potentially to be here forever. That it's such a powerful entity, and that if we were in harmony with the earth and with our people, that we would be able to create a sustainable culture and lifestyle that isn't based off of a throwaway economy, that's here to create products that will sustain through generations, to find renewable energy, to use our resources to create jobs here in America and stop sourcing everything to China. Let's create an economy here that helps people get employed. Let's pay a little bit more and stop shipping things back and forth from our soil so that it can be produced there. Let's create some economy here. Let's do something for our country. Let's bring people together and use this to make change for the world into a better place, because we have an opportunity right now and people are listening. And there's the first time with Zoom and with all the internet, this is the best time that a pandemic could have ever hit, is that we're all able to live our lives in a kind of normal way and communicate with each other and still see our friends and families, even if we're unable to hug them, and get together with the older people. And just, I've laid low a lot, and I hardly hang out with anybody. I work and go home. I've got my daughter. Like, I don't really socialize much. Like, I'm here with my staff. I'm here with the clients. I'm here to help serve. But I am also concerned, just like everybody else, and this is so real, and that it doesn't make me feel safe to be exposed in these times, and that I am concerned genuinely for everybody. That's why I just keep going back to, I'm very grateful to be here and blessed to have this job and the opportunity, and to have been dedicated my life to cannabis and this plant, and to always have believed that this was the future and the healing of the nations, and this is what will bring people together and will solve economic crisis. It's the first cash crop that America's had of this power, and that the government, the reason it's allowing us to operate and consider essential is because we're bringing an incredible amount of tax revenue at a time when everybody fell off. And that right now we put a coupon in Albertsons, and the guy that pitched me on that said all the other businesses that used to advertise are done, like they're not advertising. So I've got like the prime slot on the back of a coupon at Albertsons, which I never imagined me advertising at Albertsons.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, and I'm saving their ass. They said if it wasn't for the dispensary guys, we'd be done too, So it's like, here I am helping support a coupon guy, and they're helping support me and that type of thing. But these opportunities, and that kind of clicked to me, is that, hey, the cannabis industry is helping sustain people and the government and other things. And that, the government should admit that that's what's going on, and to respect this industry and to give us some funding and to help us out, because, well, I could use the money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're the ones that are helping sustain the economy, like you were saying. And first of all, everything you just said was so beautifully said. You know, it's so sad, all the lives that are lost. But we also, I'm a realist as well, we also have to look at the facts. You know, there were swine flu and influenza who had triple and quadruple the deaths that we have from COVID. You know, and a lot of the media has a lot of play in the fear mongering that's going on. And we do have to be safe. We do have to wear our masks. We do need to be safe. I totally get it. But we do have to also be use our own minds and think on your own and be creative. And I think everything that you said, I agreed with everything that you said. You know, it is a very, very crucial time. I think now is the time that we start to be grateful, be grateful to Mother Earth for sure, and start to do our research and utilize, the web for what we have, which is why, the government's trying to regulate it as much as they can, at this point. So, get your mind focused, clean, and do your research now, because there's a lot of amazing things going on right now towards a revolution, and cannabis is at the forefront of that, for sure.
That sounds good. So I hope that I can continue to be a part of the revolution that I've always felt like. I am in an age bracket where I was the tail end of the analog generation, so I'm one of the few people that remembers how to read a map or memorize phone numbers or write a letter, or just the basic things that are kind of lost in our society based on technology and the internet and the way that things function, that a lot of the etiquette and chivalry and everything is dead, and that there's been that's the millennial work ethics are down the toilet. Everyone wants everything handed to them on a silver platter. Everyone wants the easy money. Everyone wants to make money quick without having to do much work for it. And that's not how it works. You know what I mean? That thinking is why the world turned to shit, and that we need to actually work for money. And that's how people get paid, is having ethics and morals, and to care, and to take pride in their work, and to come with gusto, and to, bring it. You know what I mean?
So, as always on the Sanja Ganja Show, let's play a game. All right, Brian. You ready?
I'm red-eye.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Let's play truth or dab, shall we?
Let's. I want to get in on this.
Okay, so first up, truth or dab?
Let's do truth.
Okay. All right. Honestly, have you ever used being a dispensary owner to your advantage while dating, and has it ever worked?
Well, that's kind of a complicated question.
Perfect.
The answer I'd say is that I don't use that to draw women to me, or boast that I'm an owner to get ladies. I wouldn't say that's my tactics or approach. What I would say is that if I'm dating a lady and they smoke weed, it may be in a benefit to them to date a singer, because I get a lot of free samples. I got a lot of weed and all kinds of stuff, and I usually can't keep up with all that, and I need some help, so.
See, you're already sounding attracted to me and my wife, Brian.
So yeah, I'm definitely a generous person, and when it comes to sharing is caring, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely, if you're with me and you love herbs and the products that go along, there's always an abundance of that laying around my spot. So there's no shortage of that going on. As far as it actually being an advantage, or I try to pick up on clients at my store, no, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I want people to keep coming back and not think I'm some creeper or whatever, too, not I haven't wanted to, or there is beautiful, beautiful clients coming in here that I'm very attracted to, and that type of thing. So, that's there. But I feel like as the owner and as a professional, that I don't want to be the guy that hits on everybody that comes into the shop. You know what I mean? That there are a lot of dispensary owners that do, so.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, there are. Definitely no shortage of that. But to be honest with you, I think that there's been so much stigma with being a weed person that it's actually counterproductive for dating. Like, for example, if you do online dating or like, you know, some of the programs for meeting people that are out there, it's like you check the box that you smoke weed frequently or whatever, and you know, like a lot of people just skip you over just for that, seeing the little marijuana leaf on your profile or whatever. So I'd say that you probably miss out on a lot of people's dates because the stigma wraps you into the stoner this and that. So it's like I wouldn't advertise that I'm a dispensary owner on an online platform or like try to use that as a tool to get, you know, people to be into me or like flex that I own a business or this or that. It's like, for me, I'm a humble person. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I want people to be into me for me, not because I got a bunch of weed and shit. You know what I mean? Not
Right.
you know, that's what I'm saying, is that I'm more about real relationships. And, you know, especially now, it's like, geez, like you really shouldn't be doing a lot of dating and meeting a bunch of people at this time. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, this is the first time for dating in history. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on here. But, you know, there's definitely, it's a networking tool, and I've met a lot of good people from here, and there's some vibes.
And now, has anyone ever hit on you in the dispensary, like while they're shopping?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely like had some aggressive women come at me with all the pitch lines that you can imagine. You know, I've heard some lines. It's like, it's kind of like what I imagine if you're a girl, and it's just generally like guys are always spitting some, you know, like cliche line at you to try to get you to like come home with them or get their number or whatever. So yeah, I definitely like seem to like get some of that sometimes, but generally I just laugh and say that's a good line and like that's tight that you're like coming on, but no, I got a girlfriend and stuff. Usually it's like that's what's going on, you know, like so.
Let's do one more question, truth or dab.
Let's do the dab. We got the truth out the way.
Okay, I'm gonna do a dab. Here we go.
Hey, Sanja Ganja doing the dab. Yeah, this is bringing me back. Sanja Ganja doing the dabs. Just like the passport events, the ice bombs, the rigs, white label extracts. We had a bunch of good people down there giving the dabs. Dab it up. That looks like a good one.
Woo, there we go. That was for you. Because I fell in love the second I saw your dread on the wall in your dispensary. And, you know, when I saw that, I was like, now that's pretty cool, because I would have done that if I cut my dreads, and I would have kept them, because I still have my dreads. My dreads used to be huge and long. I lost a lot of them, but I still have them. They're packed away.
Yeah, I know. It took me about 4 or 5 years. I had that idea to put them as a self-portrait of me in my college days, and then they sat in a bag in the attic for about 4 or 5 years. And then one day I got inspiration. I used to do oil painting in high school and know how to stretch canvases and stuff like that. So I just decided to stitch the dreadlocks into the canvas and do a self-portrait of me in my college days with my beard and my dreads, and yeah, put that. It's like people don't even know they're real dreads and stuff, but yeah, everyone finds out those are my dreads. They always get a kick out of it, and it's pretty funny to see people's reactions when they realize that's real hair on there and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and they're huge. I mean, like, geez, I mean, especially for a white man, your hair is so plush, like
pretty coarse.
Hey. I love it.
Dreads. I produced some gnarly dreads for sure.
You did. You have some good dreads, but no, we had so much fun dabbing at the parties, because at all my parties, if you guys have not gone to a Sanja Ganja party, I always have a dab bar somewhere. And yes, it was with white label extracts. I love them so much. And I always have like an ice bong or something that you can take dabs out of. And that was so much fun to be able to just have a classy way of smoking with, you know, and for you to be there was really cool, because a lot of people, I still have people that hit me up and they're like, I remember when I went to your party and I got to meet a dispensary owner. I've never met a dispensary owner. You were right there, you know, you were hanging out with everybody. You were dancing with everybody. You were smoking with everybody. You were giving out freebies, and, you know, it was so much fun. So it was really cool. And I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you said, Brian, you're the dispensary owner. You're taking a dab. You're like all scared. Like I usually don't see that.
Yes, like that, and I would put you on blast because I'm always the MC. So I love that because everyone would go watch, and that's like the cool part of our community and the oneness that everybody has. That I enjoy. So I appreciate you embodying that in general as a whole, as who you are, and in your dispensary, which I love so much, and I love your team. Please tell everyone how much I miss them. Please, please. I will. But as always, I really, really appreciate you being on the show. You have been one of the dankest guests I have had, and having my first dispensary owner on the show has been an honor. So thank you so much for being my friend for all these years and being on the show.
Thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure, and thanks for caring about me and wanting to hear what's going on in my world and letting me share, because I really, really, really appreciate it.
Always and forever. But before we get out of here, please tell everybody where they can find you. Obviously, your dispensary is in Portland, Oregon, but tell everybody where they can find you on social media and online.
Sounds great. We've got a website, www.bewonderfulwellness.com. So that's a good source. And if you want to click on that link, we've got links to both Facebook and to Instagram from there. You can find us at Be Wonderful Wellness. It's on Instagram and on Facebook. So if you Google or look up on your Instagram or Facebook handles, Be Wonderful Wellness, it'll come up. My name's Brian Hall.
I'm super stoked about it. You guys, please be sure to follow Be Wonderful. Check them out. I always am resharing them on the THC Girls page and on my page as well. And please, if you are in Portland, be sure to stop by, say what's up to Brian, and that is Brian with the I, B-R-I-A-N, Brian Hall. Check him out. And for the listeners, thank you so much for listening in and meeting my man, Brian. I appreciate you chilling with us. All right.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel for all the latest episodes. As always, remember to eat your veggies, pray, meditate, medicate, and be a good person. Until next time, I'm Sanja Ganja. Stay high, America.
Never missing. She's on a mission. On a mission. She's on a mission.